Hey all, good morning. Welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, and we are online. Okay, so let's go on to have a look at what's happening this morning. I'll quickly give you a little bit of my monologue. When I started preparing for the scripts today, the S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq futures were much lower, or maybe I might have a data issue, but right now they are quite elevated, and they're kind of giving up some of the gains. And I think on Monday the S&P 500 fell about 0.2%, and most of the indices did fall. More stocks in the S&P 500 rose than fell. So that was the kind of background. I'm thinking that today's data release is going to be pretty significant because we have a whole lot of economic data coming up at around 9:30 a.m. Look at the range of things. ADP employment change weekly. This assumes more importance. Non-farm payrolls, retail sales month over month, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings month over month, year over year, participation rate, again another important indicator, retail sales, ex autos, average weekly hours, government payrolls, manufacturing payrolls, non-farm payrolls, private. A whole lot of significant data is coming out today. And then if you scroll back to Thursday, you have core inflation rate coming up, core inflation rate year over year, inflation rate month over month, CPI, initial jobless claims, continuing jobless claims. So there is a whole lot of data that's coming out very soon. So I'm thinking that the markets are likely to be range bound to get a feeling of what's happening out here. Does that change the calculus of the Fed going forward? I still don't know whether the market has changed from bad news is good news mode to bad news is bad news mode. So I'm not able to make any estimate from that point of view, but I'm definitely registering the fact that since the morning when I started the script to right now when we are live, S&P 500 futures and Nasdaq futures have spiked up. Maybe some insider information, some people probably know ahead of schedule what is going to be in that data. This has happened in the previous months as well, and it is usually followed by a sell-off after the market opens. So let us see what happens this time. Is it going to be any different? Now, let me go to the one-day time frame and give you a snapshot of where we are. So we are well within the head and shoulder formation that we had. Our resistance at 685, 6.25 is neither confirmed nor the support at the same level is it's also not confirmed. So we are having these wild swings where the market is where people are trying to sell off and people are trying to buy, and both sides they're getting resistance, as you can see by the shape of these two candles. So there's a whole lot of indecision in the market, in my opinion. Now let's look at Nasdaq futures. Nasdaq futures also are somewhat clustering around this support level of 25206.75. Market sentiment in every case is negative. MACD is also negative. Momentum is below average. Likewise, if you look at S&P 500, market sentiment is negative and MACD is on top of the signal line. Momentum is just a little above average. So this is the setup that we have. The dollar index continues to go down. And friends, you know what I had mentioned earlier as well about the dollar index, right? As the dollar index goes down, if the Japanese yen gets stronger, that becomes a problem. Now we are moving towards our target. We already achieved the double top target. Now we are moving towards our target of 97.729. Whereas in parallel, if you look at Japanese 10-year bond, it's around 1.9 to 2% on an average. And we have a bull flag out here, which shows that it's supposed to go up. And it is still up there. Yesterday it was up. Today we have to see whether it can confirm above this diagonal line of support. I'm just going to change the color out here. So this was a bull flag, and we have a target of 2.12 for a Japanese 10-year yield. If you look at the US 10-year yield, we have a target of 4.415. However, the differential between US 10-year yield and Japanese 10-year yield is what you have to look at, not the absolutes. The more and more it becomes unprofitable to borrow in Japanese yen and deploy in the US, the more the chances of the yen unwind trade happening. And right now it is looking pretty strong because you can see that the USD JPY is dropping. There was a bull flag target we put at 160.05, and a couple of days ago or 3 days ago I said that the pattern is faltering. Now we are seeing it come down. So today again it's down 0.40%. It depends on where it closes today. We are actually destroying this bull flag pattern. So I'm going to remove this. The bull flag is gone, and we are going to see this go down further. Now it's on a bear channel at this point of time, but we need to see some patterns coming up which clearly indicate that it is bearish. So for instance, I could like to get a bit of consolidation out here to show a bear flag, and then I can say probability is going down is high. Or if we start seeing a series of green candles going upwards, then again we can say that we are still inconclusive. So right now market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is way below average. The USD JPY pair is heading down. So this is something that we should not allow to blindside us because this can cause the yen unwind trade and the market could drop precipitously. Now, having said that, let's go to indicators. Let's look at S&P 500. As you can see, friends, the S&P 500 is forming a head and shoulder pattern. It is not baked in yet. We have a whole lot of support out here at 6,795.02, which is this green line. That's going to give us strong support. And then we are still within this parallel channel. If we break down from the parallel channel, then we'll start talking about a serious head and shoulder pattern. But right now the formation is taking place and market sentiment is bearish. MACD is just on top of the signal line. Momentum is just at average. Now let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ has dropped below this line of support of 25,212.34. So I'm going to mark it as a resistance. This resistance has not been confirmed. Our head and shoulder pattern is starting to look much more distinct, and the second shoulder has formed clearly. But what we need is to cross the neckline. So we have the neckline out here. We need to cross this neckline. In fact, I would like to refine this neckline further. I'm just going to cut this out here. I'm going to take a neckline from here. Just adjust this a little bit. So this is my neckline, and I'm going to pull this out here. So this is the neckline, and the neckline, once it is breached, then we can draw the targets for the reverse head and shoulder. This is just a probability. The head and shoulders have not yet formed, so we have to be careful. We have to wait and watch, but it's going in that direction. If you look at QQQ this morning, it's down 0.19%. That's why I'm all the more intrigued about the sudden spike in the S&P 500 futures and the NASDAQ futures. Maybe some insiders have information about what is coming in the report, or they're ginning up the market so that they could sell off at high prices to the retail investor. We'll see when the market opens, but right now we have a bunch of resistances out here. This is the first resistance, which is at 613.42. The second resistance out here is at 611.70. So 611.70 is going to be our resistance for today. Our support for today is going to be 605.18. Right now we are at 609.31 as far as the QQQ is concerned. And we have a neckline out here on QQQ. Let me just remove this previous targets and let me draw a new neckline. The new neckline is out here. So this is our new neckline, which touches all the points. So when we come down and cross this neckline, I think then we'll be able to draw the target for the head and shoulder, but the formation is still pretty good out here. Now let's go on and have a look at AI. NVDA is up 0.28% in pre-market trades. There is some acquisition that is improving its perception this morning, but 0.28% gain is not that great to speak about when it comes to NVDA. And we have a head and shoulder pattern, which could have a triggering point somewhere around 173.69. So we have to watch for this and see what happens. In fact, I would like to refine this head and shoulder pattern further. So let me start from this side and adjust it this way. So this is a more refined head and shoulder neckline. So if we breach this and go down today, we have problem. Right now, for today, we have a support at 175.06. Market is at 176.75. That's up 0.26%. So if NVIDIA cuts down below this, then we have the probability of a reverse head and shoulder, and the drop could be steep. I'm going to take this out from here and put it somewhere along this line out here, and we can see a potential to fall all the way down to 142. It has not yet happened. We are waiting for the trigger to take place. It may or may not happen, but the market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is below average. Typically, all of that is conducive to a breakdown. Meta is down 0.38% in pre-market trade, resistance 651.34, and support at 635.85. So that's where we are. And then let's look at Google. Google is down 0.33% in pre-market trade, still in the bull flag. No worries out here as yet. We are starting to fill up a little bit of the gap up that had happened. We can continue to fill the gap up and yet still be a viable bull flag. So I'm going to watch this a little more. But market sentiment, everything is turning bearish. If Google were to fall down, I'll definitely buy Google because it's a very good stock with good performance. And Amazon is up 0.09%. We have a resistance at 223.03. Right now we are at 222.74. So that's the resistance that I have there for you. Apple is down 0.38% in pre-market trades, and this diagonal line of support has been broken through, and it has now become a diagonal line of resistance. It's a dynamic line. So for today, the resistance is at 274.41. Right now, Apple is at 273.04, down 0.39%. Market sentiment, MACD, everything is negative. Microsoft is down 0.21%, and we have support at 473.07. Right now, we are at 473.65. Consequently, our resistance is at 476.95. Everything is negative for Microsoft in terms of the indicators. Tesla is down 0.72% in pre-market trades. It will get support at 471.78. Right now it's at 471.89, having broken this resistance yesterday. So we have to watch today whether we can go ahead and confirm this support by closing above 481.72, or are we going to come back to fill up this gap up? We'll see. All the parameters for Tesla is absolutely bullish. Oracle is down 0.58% in pre-market trade. We have a support at 218.15, and we have a resistance at 227.98. Market sentiment is bearish. MACD is neutral, and momentum is below average. So once it has gone down below this, I think if the momentum comes to 29.42 on the RSI scale, I think that we'll see a dead cat bounce at that stage, because everything will be conducive for a dead cat bounce. I think that will coincide nicely with 178.52. We could potentially come here and then bounce back. AMD is down 0.57%. We are coming closer to 203.52, which is not only a support, but also a critical threshold that we need to clear. I am going to draw a line out here to show you where the neckline is for the head and for the reverse cup and handle. So now this green line is the neckline for the cup and handle, and we are traveling towards that. Market sentiment is bearish, MACD is bearish, momentum is below average. So if this trend continues, and if we breach this support out here, which is also the neckline, then I think we can draw a target for the reverse cup and handle, and that target would definitely mean that will complete covering up this huge gap up that we had around 3rd of October. That said, SMCI is down 1.59% in pre-market trades, and we have a support which was at 31.06, which has now become a resistance because this morning we are already below that, and therefore the next support is going to be 28.93. Now we have a breakdown from this bull flag, so I'm going to take it to the point of the breakdown, and that gives us a target of 20.57 for SMCI. And I'm going to wait and see if we can break down below this resistance. I think we are doing that today. So today would be a day when I can go in and do a little bit of shorting on SMCI. I'd like to buy SMCZ to do that. Broadcom is down 0.57% in pre-market trades. It had a gap down. It was richly valued. If you see the price to earnings, it is still pretty strong. It's at 75.64 relative to NVDA. It's still very elevated. The same is the case for AMD as well. AMD also has got a very elevated price to earnings ratio, which if you can see here is 104.17. So something has got to give. So these two are on the chopping block at this point of time, in my opinion. AVGO also has a gap up that it has to fill up. Next, let's look at Palantir, which is down 0.83% in pre-market trade. This could still be a bull flag, so I'll wait and watch what happens because market sentiment, MACD, and momentum, all of them are looking pretty strong. SMH is down 0.20% in pre-market trades. We can still say that this is a bull flag in formation because we have a long flagpole, but increasingly that's becoming a little bit doubtful. I don't want to call this a double top because it's not strictly looking like a double top, but there could be a little bit of bearishness that I can think of from there. Market sentiment is bearish. Momentum is just at average, and we also have MACD, which is exactly on top of the signal line. It's become neutral. So SMH could go either way depending on how the underlying goes. Tempus AI is down 1.56. This cup and handle is totally gone. So I'm just going to remove this. Cup and handle pattern no longer matters for this stock. So let me dispense with this whole thing. We'll have to see what happens now. We have the double top out here, and this double top is likely to give us a target of 68.59, and we have already fallen below that, so the target has already been achieved. The next support is going to be at 65.55. Now I would like to go to Genomics and have a quick look at Genomics. Pfizer, I put Pfizer out here because there's a cup and handle pattern for Pfizer. We had the earnings come out recently, and the earnings was also pretty good, and the RSV is still around. It's picking up to a certain extent in whatever I am reading, and I think that's also going to give a little bit of boost to Pfizer. In my opinion, Pfizer is marching towards 28.18. I have some Pfizer in my portfolio. It's at a loss. I'm holding it for the longer term. It's a pretty good company. So I'm thinking that this cup and handle probably is starting to work out, and we are moving towards a target of 28.16. For today, I think we'll have resistance at 26.90. Pre-market, we are at 26.47. Prime is down 2.23%, and it will definitely get support today at 3.87. Intelia is down 0.98% in pre-market trades, and it's exactly on top of the support that we have out here from the double bottom, the neckline, and that could perform the role of a resistance today because we have fallen just below that at 9.05. We're just toggling on top and below, so I'll leave it as it is, but I can say that definitely we have support at 8.03. Caribou Biosciences is flat in pre-market trades. It will get resistance at 1.84, and I think we are marching towards a double top target. I'm going to take this out from here. This doesn't matter anymore. What matters is the double top target. The double top target will take us to 1.56 for Caribou. Beam Therapeutics is down 0.48%. Sorry, it's up 0.48% in pre-market trades. I would still say that the cup and handle pattern is valid. We are creating a bullish pennant out here. So I'm going to watch out for a few more candles and wait for a breakout. Altimmune is flat in pre-market trades, not at all looking good. It's got resistance at 5.31, so I'm going to mark this red, and it also has got resistance today at somewhere around 5.47, so I'm going to mark that also red, and also this diagonal line of resistance is going to be marked red. So there's a whole lot of reds out there for Altimmune, so the chart is not looking that great. But market sentiment is still bullish. MACD has gone down the toilet, whereas momentum is starting to drop. All of them are not good signs. Editas is flat in pre-market trade. It will get support today at 2.37. Illumina is down 0.50% in pre-market trades. But I'm thinking that we are still forming a bull flag out here. We are marching towards a target of 151.90. Market sentiment bullish, MACD bearish, but momentum is still above average. CRSP Therapeutics is down 0.44% in pre-market trades, and we have dropped below 56.36, which was our earlier support and which now becomes a resistance, and the support today is 53.33. Allogene is up 3.40% in pre-market trades. We had a target of around 1.66 for the bull flag, but right now I'm not really sure about it. We are doing a bit of consolidation dance out here, but the second bull flag, if there was any, has already been compromised. So I want to see more candles before I make any decisions. So that's what I would say with regard to Allogene. And then looking at Grail, it's flat in pre-market trades. The last 4 days, our support at 90.79 has been effective, but with every passing day, the probability of us breaking down gets higher than bouncing up. So things are not looking that great for Grail right now. Market sentiment bearish, MACD bearish, momentum below average. So a breakdown is imminent, and in that case, we'll end up with the support band out here. Next, let's look at PACB, which is down 0.47%. We are still in the bull flag. So I'll wait and watch what happens. And our support today is going to be 2.06. Our resistance today is 2.37. ARC-G is flat in pre-market trades. Cup and handle pattern still active. I'm going to wait and watch what happens here to see whether we are able to capitalize on the cup and handle pattern. This zigzag can happen for a little while longer. Doesn't matter. Market sentiment is still bullish, so that's still keeping me going. Vertex is down 0.05%, and the diagonal line of support is going to provide support today at around 439.14. Eli Lilly is up 0.68% in pre-market trade. It bounced off the upper end of the regression channel, and it has done a series of bull flags, so it is starting to look good. And this was the bear flag, so I could actually adjust the bear flag. We are still not out of the woods. Let us see. I think we are out of the woods, sorry, because this is the flagpole and we are across more than 50% of the flagpole. So I'm going to dispense with these lines out here. I'll just leave this bottom line out here and say this is our line of support. And for today, the support is coming to us at 1044.41. Pre-market, we are at 1069.47. Then I would like to look at Ultragenyx. Ultragenyx is down 0.63% in pre-market trades. It's doing some kind of a consolidation out here with an aim to jump back up again. So I support that 100%, but I have to see some positive signs out here. Consolidation is a good sign, but I'm not seeing any bullish signs out here. I want to see some bullish signs like a bull flag or a bullish pennant or something like that, which I can use and take to the bank. So that said, I think I'd like to go to currencies, and in the currencies, I want to look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has broken down on the bear flag. So since it has broken down on the bear flag, let me show you where it's going to end up. So it will end up at around 69,259.68. So that's a long drop out there. It may not happen in one shot, but it could happen through a series of candles over the next so many days. And this being a dynamic line of support, this support will keep on increasing with every passing day. So that's what I would like to say for Bitcoin. And friends, that kind of brings me to an end of today's session. And before I sign off, let me look at the futures and see what is happening with the futures. It's up 0.73. S&P 500 is up 0.73. NASDAQ futures is up 0.76. So we'll see what happens when the market opens. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining me. And I'll catch up with you again in the next one. Bye for now.